Hi, everybody. Welcome to attend this accelerator and welcome to join these lighting talks. I'm Xiaodong Liang from Autodesk Developer Advocate and Support Team, focusing on 4G services, especially BIM 360 API. Today, I will quickly introduce about Model Coordination API for BIM 360 and how it can help you to analyze the clash and designs and models. Because of the time difference, I cannot log in live. Thank you for my colleague Jaime for hosting this session and helping to answer the questions. If you have more questions, please feel free to contact us by the support email in this page. To save the bandwidth, I will close the camera right now. First of all, if you are not much familiar with model coordination, I will quickly introduce how and what it does. Basically, the end user can upload the models and designs to BIM 360 docs folder or by API, 4G API. And model coordination services will check if there is any clash among these models in this collection and generate the clash report, and as well as providing the property index of these models in this collection. If there is any clash that need to be taken care of, especially, and the user can create clash issue and assign to the project member to follow up. Currently, model coordination supports AutoCAD, Revit, and IFC, 3 types of designs. To give you more idea about what the functionalities are with model coordination, I will switch to BIM 360 UI. So this is a project mean of the BIM 360 project. And you can see after you activate model coordination services, this is a coordination space. You can create a space and give a name and specify which folder you want to coordinate. So you can select a folder or subfolder, project files or planned folder. So if coordination finish completes the coordinating and clash test of a collection, it will give you the report. And this tab first is about how many models join this collection. And in clash views, this is a matrix view, a grid view, and it shows how many elements in this left side document clash with the right side document. So if you are interested in some of them, just click. It will be directed to the clash view of the 2 pair of documents. So here you can see the breakdown view of the 2 documents clash. And if we select some of them, it will show the clashes of this element. This is one element in one document clash with a multiple elements in another document. So it's kind of a group clashes. If you want to ask somebody to follow up, you can create the issue and then click a push pin on the key point and then set the type, create, it will generate the clash issue. So if you want to see more models clash, you can switch the models and add more available models in this collection. Okay, right now just 2 models. So now if we switch to assign tab, you can see the clashes we created just now. This clash issue is also a kind of generic issue. So you can also see them in the issue tab of the docs module. Yeah. Okay, so this is basically overview of model coordination functionalities. Now, about API. So API provides a couple of categories of functionalities. First of all, is about the model set. Model set corresponds to coordination space in UI. And second one is about the crash test, providing the crash data. Third one is to manage the crash issue, crash groups. Last one is providing the property index of the model. Model sets, you can imagine that you upload, aggregate a couple of models versions to the BIM 360 docs folder, architecture, structure, MEP. So it will generate one versions of this collection. Model coordination space, a model coordination will check the updates and take a snapshot of one version and then start the analyze of the cache. If there's any more caches, any updates with this folder and the files, it will not check at that moment. But after it finished the previous crash test, crash detective, coordinating, it will check if there's any new update available. If yes, it will start trigger a new one more time coordinating. So similarly, it will have a couple of versions by versions by versions of the coordinating version. So we say model set version is kind of a snapshot of the updates, the status of the models in this collection. So API will give you all the information about the documents in one version and the detailed data of the corresponding documents. Second one is crash. This is the very interesting one. After the crash report is available, the API can give you the information and the data of the crash. Three things. One is crash, the crash collection in the JSON format, and about the crash ID, the documents, the two documents, and also the distance of the crash. Second one is instance, crash instance. Not only crash ID, but also provides the viewable ID of this element. This is typically for 4G viewer. Third one is about the documents manifest. That is about the detailed information of the documents which join the crash. So a little more detailed view of the crash API. Can see first, JSON is something like this: clashes, ID crash. This is a crash, the element ID in the coordination space, and the distance and the current status. And the crash instance, not only the crash ID, these two things are same. And also tell you about LVID and the RVID. These two things corresponds to the 4G viewer DBID. So L and R means left document, the right document. The view, V means view, and ID is ID. So by this, you can highlight, isolate corresponding elements who are clashed. So RDID and LDID means the document's ID. This is generated by coordination services. So by this ID, you can get corresponding URN of the documents. So we know if we want to load the document, we need to, in the 4G viewer, we need the UI. So next one is crash issue. Crash issue is very straightforward. You create it, and behind the scene, it will generate based on the generic issue. Beyond that, it will the API give you about the crash test ID and also generic issue ID, and also the crashes. that's related with the clash issue. This is the clash ID. So issue ID is a generic ID. By this, you can use issue API to get detailed information of the issue. Final one is also interesting. That is index property index. So basically, it provides a kind of way to use AWS S3 select SQL query. You can specify the query condition, the functions, to get the properties of the document. So you can see that on the cloud, after coordination finish the clash test, it will generate also generate the model properties index on the cloud. And each property will have the unique key and also the name. And after you query by the SQL schema, it will give you the element, the property information, the values. So you can give, for example, you can see the name, the category, the family, the type of the element. So that means you can get the properties by filter, by your own query filter on the cloud. Yeah, it's very useful if you want to analyze the properties associated with the clash. We will show you one sample soon. Okay, because it is all of the services of model coordination are RESTful service API, so the useful is very similar to other HTTP requests. We have provided some Postman script you can play, and one is about corresponds to the tutorials of API document. Another one is about endpoints demonstration. So if you're interested, you can download the Postman collection to play the API. So I will give you a quick test by the APIs. So this is my Postman that I have the collection already script. Then I will generate the token. Model coordination API supports 3-leg token only. Okay. API reference also categorized with the functionalities. First, and about the model set. So we can get the available model set in my project. So we can see our interesting name is the model coordination container ID is actually the project ID. Okay, so you can see some endpoint of the API. If we open the code, you can see the detailed endpoint. It's kind of for developer API, BIM 360 model set, and the containers and container ID, and then model set. Yeah, it's very similar to other HTTP requests of BIM 360. So we get the model set. This is a collection. It will indicate the name, the description, and if it is active or not by this property. Of course, we can also create. Create, you can just specify the name and if enable or not, and the key things is which folder you want to associate with this coordination space. So you need to input the folder you are in. Yeah. Next one is about the model set version. If we are interested in one model set, we can just check the model version. So you can see right now, this the latest model set has only one version, only one snapshot. After that, we can check the crash test. And we can get the crash test, permitted test with this model set. Just the one, yeah. Basically, one version corresponds to one test, yeah. And then we can get the clash result. So this is a clash result endpoint. It's kind of endpoint that give you the crash report test and the test ID and the resources. If you call this API, it will give you the resource download URL. Yeah, as you can remember, 3 information Clash API will provide. First is about the Clash collection. Second one is Clash instance. Third one is about document manifest. So if we click one of them, so it will be available in the AWS storage, send. It will give you the JSON format information. So this is a collection, a very big collection, and the clashes indicate the ID, the maybe I need to bigger, and the clash, the document ID and the distance status. And if we go to another one, wait a moment, clash instance. So this is clash instance. You can see the CID is also clash ID. LDID means the document ID, and the LVID means the view ID, and RVID is the right side document view ID. So by this information, you can do the job in the Forge Viewer. And another one is about the manifest. So you can see the manifest. This is the document ID. This is managed by model coordination space. And this is URL. This is managed by the Beams 360 docs. Okay, so and one more about the clash issue. We can get the clash issue. So this is a collection of the clash issue. Clash issue provides the issue ID, that is a generic issue ID, and also associated clashes ID. So this clashes ID is what we saw in this manifest, this ID. Yeah. Last one is index, property index. First, it also gives you more information about the documents in this collection. So you can see the seed files, and you can see the also a unique ID also managed by model coordination space, and also URL and database. Database means the associated extracted database of this model. That is from the model derivative services. And we have 3 documents, right? So we can have a couple of, yeah. Yeah. So this the manifest of the documents. Second one is about which fields are available with the index, the property. So we can call another endpoint is a field. And send. It will also give you AWS URL of this information, and then we send. So you can see the list of the available fields extracted by index. So you can see the key is a unique ID of this property. You can see some of them are properties of Revit. And for example, this is one properties and this is unique ID. And this is its display name. This is the category. This is the property name. So this is available fields property. Then we say, okay, please tell me the information of the document, their properties. So we can call this endpoint. This endpoint is called indexes query. Index query. And this is a statement of SQL schema. So it's just similar to what when you play with SQL query. So it will set up which fields you want to query. You can give a meaningful name. For example, this is a unique ID, but we just give a name. And this give another name, cat. This is family, this is the type. And from the objects collection, and then give a condition. Then we send, it will trigger a job to do the query. Each job, you can get the status. If it is quick, we can see a result at once. So you can see first is about the available fields, is similar to what we did just now. Second one, another gzip, is about the final properties values collection. So you can see the information here. This is just one element. It belongs to this file and corresponding database, and its element ID. This element is DB ID of ForgeViewer, and then the name, display name, and the category, the family, the type. Yeah, so we can get all of the information here. Yeah, so by this information, you can do more analysis for your web app. Okay, so there's a quick demo about the API. Basically, it's a RESTful API. Yeah, it's very easy to use. Go back to BBD. So summarize, model coordination API contains a couple of categories of API: model set, clash test, clash issue, and index properties, property index. Okay. We have a couple of references, except the website, Forge official website documents, a tutorial API reference, and we also provide some samples how and about some use case and the scenarios to integrate with Clash of the model coordination. So I will show you quickly. So all of the samples available in our GitHub repository. The first one is a Clash view, is a basic Clash view of the model set. So after login, we select which project we want to check its model set. So it will dump the available model sets in this project. And if we click one, it will load the latest version of the coordinating result. Because we have the manifest API, we can get the document in this version, and it will load all the information one by one, aggregated together in the ForgeViewer. You can see the 3 models in the viewer. And then this is a raw view of the clash. This is from the clash report. Yeah, we can get distance, status, and the left side document model ID, right side document ID, and there's a DB ID of ForgeViewer, and there's another document DB ID. So this is basically for the developer, yeah, to be familiar with the API. If we click any of them, it will locate to a corresponding clash. Second sample is about export the breakdown view to PDF, clash PDF. So let us, so similarly, we can select the crop and the project and dump the model set. Then we can load the model set. Similarly, it will also load all the models in this collection in the ForgeViewer. It will analyze the information of the manifest as well as the clash and generate the view, breakdown view. So if we select, okay, please give me all the clashes that clash with the mechanical model, it will also give you a kind of breakdown view. So it is element name, it is another document name, and then another the element in the other document. So we can select some of them. This is one clash, single clash. And if we select the two of them, yeah, we can export to PDF. So the PDF will generate the basic information of this clash, the model coordinations version, and the model document name, how many clash objects, and then it will give you the snapshot of the independent single clash, the document name, the right document, the name, distance, and a snapshot by 4G viewer. Yeah, this is from the 4G viewer screenshot. So if you want to say, okay, I want just interested in some specific element with the name, we can just type the keyword. It will highlight all the elements that with the contains the name. So this is about export to PDF. The last one I will show you is about integrating with Power BI. As you know, may know that Power BI is an intelligent tool to analyze the data. So we got some idea from some customers and generate a demo. This demo basically will integrate with Power BI embedded container in the 4G, in the web view. So similarly, we log in and we select one project, and it will generate a similar view as the UI does. If you remember, there is one matrix view, yeah, in the UI, like this. So if we click one of the two documents, it will only load the two documents in the 4G viewer. In the same time, it will use model coordination index property API to get the element properties and send it to Power BI report and ask Power BI to analyze by bubble view or by table view. So all of the information will be categorized or as a clusters. So now okay, I want to see a single clash in a table view, is very straightforward. If we want to say, okay, I want to see all the structure framing clashes, you just click the bubble in the bubble view. It will show all the views. So after that, I say, okay, I can export data as a Excel. This is a built-in functionality of Power BI. So you can see the feasibility. We can integrate with the data of model coordination with some other analysis tool. I think last one more is I will not show the demo, just to give you idea of the issue. A couple of things, clash issue. Yeah, as you remember, API, we have a clash issue API. So by this, we can get the information and dump the records and also associate with the issue and also use the extension of pushpin and to show the issue in the 4G view in your own web app. So, okay. Yeah, so this is about the samples. Okay, so that's all of the lighting talks today. So if you are interested in more about the BIM 360 model coordination API, so welcome to the two AU classes we will present in online. So the first one is about the tricks and experience with practice with Power BI and BIM 360. One of which we will introduce the Power BI sample and model coordination, especially. Second one is a class about how we can solve the clashes automatically with model coordination API and together with Revit design automation. Okay, so that's all of the Lighting Talk today. Yeah, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.